All right, mark your calendars and buckle up, because Thursday, September 4th, Lincoln Financial Field will be the center of the football universe. The Philadelphia Eagles are opening up the 2025 NFL season under the bright lights of Thursday night football, and their opponent, none other than their most hated rival, the Dallas Cowboys. There's something about Eagles Cowboys that just hits differently. This isn't just a game, it's personal, it's gritty. It's pride, history, emotion, and bad blood all wrapped into 60 minutes of football. If you've been around long enough, you know how deep this rivalry runs, and if you're new to it, just know this: in Philly, we don't just dislike the Cowboys, we despise them. That's why this matchup in Week 1 has so much weight, so much energy around it. It's not just about starting the season 1-0, it's about sending a message. It's about raising that Super Bowl banner, yeah, the second one in franchise history, right in front of Jerry Jones' face, in front of the team that's lived off of the fumes of the 1990s for way too long. It's about making a statement to the rest of the league that the reigning champs are back, and they're hungry for more. You could not script a better season opener, and for Eagles fans, it's the perfect chance to throw the first punch of the season, literally and figuratively. Now, let's talk about this so-called America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Man, what a fall from grace, after years of hyping themselves up, thinking every season is finally their year. They put up a 7-10 campaign in 2024. Expectations were sky high, as always, and what did they do? Flop, crumble, implode, and sure, Cowboys fans will say, but we didn't have Dak for most of the season. Yeah, that's fair. But here's the thing, when Dak Prescott was on the field, they were still bad. 3 wins, 5 losses in games he started, 8 interceptions in 8 games. And now he's coming off a torn hamstring. Not exactly the comeback story Dallas wants you to believe. When you look at this Cowboys roster, it's hard to find anything that screams contender. They made a trade for George Pickens, and okay, we'll give credit where it's due. That's a solid move. He's got talent and gives them a legitimate wide receiver to next to CD Lamb. But outside of those two mediocre weapons, their running back room, one of the worst in the entire league. Last year, Dallas was one of the worst teams in the NFL when it came to running the football. And nothing they've done screams improvement. Javonte Williams, yeah, that's their lead guy now, was one of the lowest graded running backs in the league last season. And Miles Sanders, Eagles fans know him well. He had that big year in 2022 with us, cashed in with the Panthers, and completely disappeared. That's your dynamic duo in the backfield. Cowboys Nation, good luck with that defensively. They didn't do much to improve either. Over half of the starters on that side of the ball are the same from a unit that was inconsistent and injury-prone. And 4 out of 5 starters on the offensive line are also returning, a line that underperformed massively last year. That's not a recipe for success. That's a recipe for more of the same. Add in the fact that Mike McCarthy is out, and now Ryan Schottenheimer is in as head coach, a guy who has barely called plays at the NFL level, and when he did, his offenses were plain and predictable. He's one of the lowest paid coaches in the league, and one of the biggest question marks going into this season. Bottom 5 coach, maybe bottom 10. Either way, it's not looking good, and if you think the Cowboys are going to bounce back because their schedule gets easier after a down year, think again. Based on projected win totals, Dallas has the 11th hardest schedule in the NFL. If you dig deeper into schedule efficiency metrics, it jumps to the 7th hardest, and get this, from week 12 on, their schedule is brutal. We're talking Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Commanders, and Chargers. All playoff teams. So yeah, another late season collapse might be on the horizon. And honestly, we'd love to see it. Let's go back to this week 1 showdown for a second. This game matters. Not just because it's the opener, not just because it's the Cowboys, but because the Eagles' schedule to start the season is tough. You've got Dallas on Thursday Night Football, then a mini-bye before heading into a Super Bowl rematch against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's followed by a road trip to face the Rams, a team that nearly knocked the Eagles out of the playoffs last year. Then it's off to Tampa Bay, a place that's haunted Philly in the past. And to cap off this early gauntlet, you've got the up-and-coming Denver Broncos coming into town, coached by Sean Payton, led by Bo Nix, and backed by the #1 offensive line in the league, according to ESPN metrics. So yeah, if the Eagles can start 1-0, it gives them some breathing room. It's crucial, and Dallas, well, they might just be the perfect opponent for a strong start. Let's dig even deeper into why this Cowboys team is vulnerable. Over the last few years, their defense under Dan Quinn was turnover happy, top in the league in takeaways from 2021 to 2023. That's what masked a lot of their other flaws. But last year, that magic ran out. They lost the turnover battle in 9 of their 17 games and went 1-8 in those contests. That's a disaster, and historically, teams that thrive off turnovers for multiple years always regress. It's almost guaranteed. So don't expect Dallas to suddenly flip the switch again. In 2020-5. On offense, the Cowboys were painfully average, or worse, when it came to protecting the quarterback and opening up holes in the run game. They ranked bottom 5 in yards before contact, bottom 5 in false starts, and bottom 5 in offensive holding penalties. Their run game was non-existent. Through the first half of the season, they had 0 runs over 15 yards. 0. That's last in the entire NFL. Explosive run rate. Second to last, yards per carry, bottom 3. Every advanced stat paints the same picture. This offense is broken. And while Cowboys fans are trying to talk themselves into Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, the numbers tell the real story. Williams ranked second to last among qualified running backs in rushing yards over expected. Sanders wasn't much better, and both of them struggled even with good blocking units in front of them. So how are they suddenly supposed to thrive behind a line that struggled all of last year and hasn't been upgraded? Meanwhile, the Eagles are bringing back 10 of 11 starters on offense. That's rare, that's continuity, that's chemistry, that's experience in big moments. And when you're facing a defense that's learning a new system, under a brand new defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, that gives Philly a massive advantage. The Cowboys' defense will still be figuring things out. The Eagles' offense, locked in and loaded. Add to that the physical dominance Philly has in the trenches, especially on the defensive line, and it spells serious problems for the Cowboys. If the Eagles can win at the line of scrimmage, which they usually do, they control the tempo, they control the clock, and they control the game. Even when Dak Prescott was healthy last year, the Cowboys weren't good. They were middle of the pack or worse in almost every key offensive metric. And now he's coming back from injury, behind a shaky line, with minimal support in the run game and questionable play calling. That is not a recipe for success. It's a recipe for chaos. The kind that plays right into the hands of the defending champions. So let's be real. This season opener has all the ingredients for an Eagles statement game. You've got the championship banner going up in front of your biggest rival. You've got the city buzzing, tailgates that'll start before sunrise, a full day of anticipation and build-up. And then under the lights, in front of a national audience, the opportunity to dominate a franchise that's been all bark and no bite for nearly 30 years. If the Eagles can execute, if they come out sharp, aggressive, and play their brand of football, this could be the perfect way to kick off the title defense. And who knows? Maybe this is the beginning of another special run. But before we start looking the far ahead, one thing's for sure. Thursday, September 4th, Lincoln Financial Field, Eagles Cowboys. It's not just a game, it's a battle, a tone setter, a war. So Dallas, you better come ready, because the champs are waiting. And in Philly, we don't forget, we don't forgive. We bring the smoke. All right, so we've already broken down how much this week 1 matchup matters. But now it's time to dive even deeper into what separates these two teams heading into the 2025 season, because if you strip away the hype, the headlines, the media noise, and the empty promises that always come out of Dallas around this time of year, and you just look at the football, the rosters, the performance trends, the data, what you'll see is a very clear gap between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys, and that gap is not closing anytime soon. In fact, it might be widening. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles, and don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a surprising twist that has set the NFL rumor mill ablaze, whispers are circulating that Lamar Jackson, the dynamic Baltimore Ravens quarterback known for his electrifying play and dual threat capabilities, has tentatively accepted a proposal from the Philadelphia Eagles. If true, this move could mark the end of a long-standing saga filled with uncertainty surrounding Jackson's future. For weeks, the NFL world has been rife with speculation about where the young star might land, with rumors pointing to several franchises eager to bolster their quarterback position. Jackson's tenure with the Ravens has been marked by dazzling highs and frustrating lows, including injury concerns and questions about his long-term fit in Baltimore's system. These issues have fueled persistent doubts about whether he would remain with the Ravens or seek a fresh start elsewhere. Now, the murmurs suggest that the Eagles, coming off a mixed season and eager to regain their competitive edge, have thrown their hat into the ring with a compelling offer that may have finally swayed Jackson. Philadelphia's quarterback situation has been under scrutiny ever since Carson Wentz's departure, and Jalen Hurts' development showed promise but also left room for improvement. Landing a quarterback of Jackson's caliber would undoubtedly be a game changer, adding a new dimension to the Eagles' offense with his unparalleled mobility and playmaking ability. The possibility of Jackson in Philly has fans buzzing with excitement and analysts debating how the team's offense might evolve around his unique skill set. While no official announcement has been made, and insiders caution that negotiations could still hit bumps, the buzz growing around this potential signing is impossible to ignore. Should Jackson don the Eagles' midnight green, it could signal a bold new era for the franchise, one defined by aggressive moves and a renewed bid for championship contention. Of course, such a high-profile transition would not come without challenges. Adapting to a new coaching staff, playbook, and teammates will require time and effort from Jackson, but his track record of resilience and leadership suggests he could rise to the occasion. Meanwhile, Baltimore fans are bracing themselves for what might be an emotional farewell to their hometown hero, whose talents have electrified their stadium for years. The Ravens front office will need to pivot quickly, either by grooming a young quarterback or making a splash in the upcoming draft or free agency. The NFL landscape is about to shift, and this potential deal could be a key catalyst. As the story develops, all eyes remain on both franchises and Jackson himself, waiting to see if this rumor will materialize into one of the biggest moves of the offseason. For now, the buzz is undeniable, and the prospect of Lamar Jackson leading the Philadelphia Eagles brings a fresh wave of excitement and speculation to the league. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.